meeting of Monday, July 10th, 2023. I got a seconder. I always do this every time. Councilor, I know, I don't really need one. It's just me calling it to order. Okay, item number 2, adoption of agenda. Can I get a seconder? Councilor Johnston, thank you. Discussion?
So I put a notice of motion out via email to everybody that isn't on the agenda. I'm curious as to why that wouldn't be on here.
So the difference is that with this being a special meeting, formal notice has to be given under the signature of the mayor or the corporate officer at least 24 hours in advance to the meeting being added onto a meeting item being added onto the agenda for that meeting. And so at this point in time, seeing as there was no signature from myself or the corporate officer, the proposed motion is out of order. So I can just advise to council, if council would like, under unanimous vote, you can agree to waive the 24-hour notice requirement if council wishes to do so. Councillor Wall?
So this notice of motion was actually given out well in advance of 24 hours of the meeting. As you, Mayor Beach, were out of town, you were out of town and you're actually on the council calendars out of town, and I am acting mayor. Wouldn't I have been acting mayor as giving everybody this notice of motion? Which I have a copy here I can hand out to everybody if you wish. I can add it on the agenda as a late item as per procedure bylaw.
Yes, and so with that, there's no signature from the corporate officer, and even though I was out of town, I was still working as the mayor. I was still attending meetings, answering emails, and dealing with the staff. And so sorry, let me just finish my thought. So when it comes to the acting mayor, it was more notice for you in the event of an emergency. Other than that, I was fully functioning as the mayor while I was gone.
Okay, I have a point of order. My point of order is that me giving out this notice of motion was actually seconded by another member of council, and as per the community charter, it is a requirement that the agenda item with two councillors' consent be added to an agenda if there's 24 hours notice, as we would have called our own special meeting to hold this item.
Okay, and then so with that, I'm going to refer then to our legal. So Suk, I'm going to refer to you in that matter.
So as it relates to this meeting, this meeting is a special meeting of council, and pursuant to the community charter and the procedure bylaw of the village, in order for a special meeting to be called, notice of the special meeting must be given at least 24 hours in advance of the meeting itself. And the notice must set out the purpose for which the meeting is being called. The notice of special meeting in respect of this particular meeting did not reference anything outside of consideration of closing the meeting to the public for the purposes of discussing a matter relating to labor and employment relations. If this matter is to be added to this agenda, it would either have had to have had 24 hours formal notice under the community charter of the purpose for which the meeting is held, consideration of the proposed notice of motion, the calling of special meetings is within the jurisdiction of the mayor. If two council members wish to ask that a special meeting be called, they are to request that under the community charter, they're to request that the mayor call a special meeting. And if the mayor fails to call a special meeting, then the two council members may call the special meeting. In the circumstances, the notice of motion did not request that notice of the special meeting be amended to add the agenda item. I'm not aware of any communication in respect of that request being made of the mayor or the refusal of the mayor to add the matter to the special meeting agenda. Now, as Mayor Veach indicated, it is possible to waive the 24-hour notice provision. The community charter does allow that to occur, and council could, on a unanimous vote of all council members, decide to waive the 24-hour notice requirement and to have the matter added to the agenda. But at this stage, because formal notice of this particular matter being addressed at this agenda being addressed at this special meeting had not been given, it would be contrary to the community charter to add the notice of motion or the motion to the agenda for this meeting without the unanimous consent of all council members.
Councilor Wall?
So I actually sent out this email requesting this be put on the agenda on July 5th, and today is the 10th, so I did give notice. And as per a conversation I had with Mayor Veach there over the phone, when she phoned me after I said that, she said it won't be put on the agenda, and good luck having anybody prove that you asked for it. So, yeah, I did ask for that. It is here in writing. I don't know if you have a copy of it, Mr. Manhas there, but I did ask for that, and it was given 24 hours notice, and it was prior to the agenda actually being published to the public.
Now, Councillor Wall, the notice of the special meeting, though, was given in advance of that notice of motion, as I understand it. It is the notice of the special council meeting, the public notice that is required to be given of a special council meeting, that is the hindrance to this matter being added to the agenda. In order for a matter to be dealt with at a special council meeting, notice setting out in general terms the purpose or what's going to be discussed at the public meeting must be given. Notice had already been given of a very limited nature. The notice of motion sought to add something to the special meeting. That would have required a new notice for the special meeting to be given, and that was not done.
As this notice of motion was submitted to Mayor and Council on July 5th, and the public notice for this meeting occurred afterwards, could it not be understood that this meeting is about this motion?
The public notice for the meeting was put out prior, if I am correct. The special meeting public notice was put out prior to that.
Point of order. The public notice for this meeting was actually put out an hour and 45 minutes after my notice was sent.
Well, as Mr. Manhas has stated, it is within the council's right to vote to remove the 24-hour, to waive the 24-hour notice if it is amongst unanimous vote of council. That is another option as well. Council still sees.
I'd like that to happen.
Am I correct in stating that, Mr. Manhas?
Yes, that certainly if council were to pass a unanimous vote to add the matter to the agenda for this special council meeting, then it would be properly before council. But in the absence of a notice being given pursuant to the community charter in respect of this special council meeting, indicating that the proposed motion would be discussed at this council meeting, any discussion on the proposed motion would be invalid. Essentially, the council has no ability to discuss the matter unless notice of the matter was given as notice of the special meeting, and dealing with this at the special meeting was in fact given. My understanding is it wasn't given in the formal manner under the signature of the mayor or corporate officer.
So if anybody would like the motion on the floor to waive the 24 hours?
I put the motion on the floor to waive the 24 hours to add the motion to the agenda, whereas the Village of Pooskoopi has not had a permanent appointee for Chief Administrative Officer for 2 years, and that the Chief Administrative Officer position is a key role in achieving the objectives of the village and ensuring the well-being of its residents, and that Council previously directed the village to begin finding a permanent CEO. Therefore, we resolve that Council directs staff of the Village of Pooskoopi to solicit applications for the Chief Administrative Officer effective immediately.
Okay. Seconder on that motion? Seconded by Councillor Ravel. Okay. Discussion? All those in favor? Oh, do you have a, sorry about that.
Well, so I'm glad that we're examining this question in the public. I've heard numerous questions from the public about the natural next step to post publicly, and I want to ensure that we're able to seek, talent, and that we're able to look forward to the future and see what's possible.
Point of order. The motion on the floor is to discuss within the 24-hour period, not the content of what the meeting is to discuss. And that meeting is currently covered under our closed agenda. So, correct me if I'm wrong, there, Mr. Mendez, but sorry, my apologies. But yeah, I think we can discuss, should we waive the 24-hour period, but we can't discuss the content of what that meeting is going to be.
Councillor Ravel?
I believe that although this was presented prior, and in my opinion, I believe that it was done in a manner which gave opportune time to make it a part of this meeting, I therefore, from legal counsel, would like to have the council body here understand that this is of the utmost importance and that it's in the public interest that we are to solicit applications publicly for this position so that we are able to access the talent pool that exists and that we're not in danger of a direct award contract.
Okay. Councillor Wong?
I also find it very important that we have this item on the agenda today, as I feel my speech has been being stifled, and I've requested this motion through the proper steps prior to the notice of the meeting, well in advance of 24 hours of the meeting, and in doing so, the further correspondence of it basically being trying to be shut down by certain individuals and sort of make it wholly appropriate that this be on the agenda and in the public eye, as it is the most important position the municipality has for staff, and I believe it should be a transparent process as we're adding that word to our mission statement going forward. So I think we should practice what we preach and put it on the agenda.
Okay, so moving to the motion, all those in favor of waiving the 24-hour notice requirement? Okay, opposed? Okay, so at this point, we are not waiving the 24-hour notice. Ms. Green? Would the proposed like to be noted? Yes, please note them. Thank you very much. Councillor Wong?
I would like to submit to the record, I'm going to cross over to Ms. Green over there and give her a copy of the notice of motion, which was well in advance of the 24-hour. I'd like that formally submitted to the record, please.
Okay. All right, moving on. So item number 3, new business. Item number 1 on 3.1 recommendation.
Recommend that council moves to in-camera as per section 91C of the community charter. Labor relations or other employee.
Can I get a seconder? Councillor Whittle, thank you very much. All right, I'll get those contracts from you.
Point of order, discussion.
Yes?
Why haven't we taken this to a vote?
Oh, sorry. I was just wanting to make sure that I had these. All those in favor of moving to the in-camera? Okay, opposed? Would you like the opposed noted?
Yes.
Yes? Go, thank you. In the regular meeting. So, item number 4, rise and report. Ms. Green is not in here yet, hang on. She's running. Ms. Green, I would like it to be noted for the public that a motion by mayor and council to appoint Ms. Stokes as the CAO Chief Administrative Finance Officer, for a term of 1 year has been carried.
Financial wasn't in
No, financial is not in there. Whatever CAO means, I never spit that shit out. Too many acronyms.
there. You're in an open meeting.
I know.
Point of order, you can't use that.
Thank you. Good point. That was on me. Sorry. I apologize. Let me know if you need me to repeat that. I literally had to type it.
I would love you to.
Okay, so it says, a motion by mayor and council to appoint Ms. Stokes as the CAO, Chief Administrative, I need to write that in there myself, Officer, for a term of 1 year has been carried. Do I need a seconder on that? No, okay, thank you, I didn't think
We're
so.
just rising and reporting.
All right. Seconder?
I'll
second that.
Seconded by Johnston.